Hey guys, it's Marie Nicole here again, and I am showing you how I made this fun little witch tag using Brutus Monroe's inks and chalk sprays that I'm showing you here, and their stamp sets. I used this chalk spray to color the background, and I just really love the colors, and they're so shimmery and bright, and I'm going to show you how I did this today. So first of all, I'm taking some watercolor paper, and I'm going to be using this to stamp on and to spray on, and I'm using the watercolor paper because it's heavier and it will stand up to spray a lot better. So I'm taking my 2.5-inch circle punch, and I'm just punching out 3 more circles because I'm going to make a set of 4 tags. And I'm showing you here, this is the stamp set I'm using from Brutus Monroe. It's got these 4 little witch faces, and they all have a different expression, and there's some really fun puns, sentiments that goes with this, so I just thought it was a really fun stamp set to use. I'm putting back that one stamp that I've already used, and I'm moving on to the next face. I'm going to be making a tag featuring each of these faces, and I'm using this one next. So I'm putting it on my stamp press, and I'm using my VersaFine Black Onyx ink, and I'm going to be inking it up and stamping it down onto my little circle. Now I am going to be embossing my image. I want to emboss it so that when I spray over the top it will resist the spray, and it'll just color the background, and I'll still have my stamped image. So the way I do my embossing, if I want a black embossed image, I take my VersaFine Black Onyx ink, I stamp it, and I quickly sprinkle on my clear embossing paste. And this will, when I heat up my embossing paste, since it's clear, the black ink will show from behind, and it'll look like a shiny black embossed image. So that's just my little trick I do when I want to emboss in black. It does work with the VersaFine Black Onyx ink, but you do have to be quick to sprinkle on that ink, that embossing powder before the ink dries. So here I'm just melting that embossing powder so that I can get my little witch face embossed in the shiny black ink. And then once she is all embossed and dried, I'm kind of waving her around here just to get her cooled off a little bit. Then I'm going to go ahead and just mist it up using these chalk shimmers from Brutus Monroe. Now these shimmers, when you shake them up, you want to shake them side to side like you see me doing, because they do have shimmer and mica in there, and if you shake them up and down you might get it clogged a little bit, so just remember to shake them side to side. But these colors also coordinate with their ink colors, so they match perfectly, which I thought was really fun. And this color that I'm using is aubergine. It's a really pretty color, and you can see as you use these chalk inks, you're gonna get your fingers a little bit messy, so it's kind of unavoidable. But if you have a few spots that you're missing on your paper that didn't get totally sprayed, you can just dip it into that extra ink there on your craft mat and just cover those up. Now I did take my towel and I wiped off my embossed image just to wipe off any of that ink that's sitting on top there. And then I went ahead and I dried my little image. Now I'm taking a white gel pen and I'm just adding some little details and highlights around on my witch's face. I'm kind of coloring in her eyes, and I'll be coloring in her teeth and a few little highlights on her hat. And I just think that really makes the image stand out, especially since it's all the same color in the background. I just think putting a little bit of white in there just kind of makes it pop and helps you to really see the image a whole lot better. So that's why I'm using my little white gel pen there. I'm just making sure that I get all those little teeth filled in and her little eyes filled in and just the little highlights on her hat. And you can see there, just adding that little bit of white really helps this image stand out. So next, I thought about using this black and white polka dot paper, but I really love the stripes, so I'm just going to go ahead and stick with that for all my little tags. This striped paper is actually from Canvas Corp. It is their black and white ribbon striped paper, and it's really nice to have in your stash. And I'm just punching out my ribbon stripe paper with a scallop circle punch that's slightly larger than my 2.5-inch circle that I used for my little witch face. Now I'm cutting some foam adhesive because I want to pop this up to give it a little bit of dimension on my tag. I'm just putting a few little squares of this foam adhesive on the back. And then just peeling off the backing, and I'm just going to adhere it down. So these little tags are super simple, super easy to do, and they look really fun. Now I'm going to do my last two tags, and I'm taking a little bit of Tombo's removable adhesive. It's sticky, but it's not so sticky that it's permanent. And I just want to put some on the back of my circles to kind of hold them in place. This way I can put two of my stamps on my stamp press and stamp both of my circles at the same time and kind of move a little bit more quickly here. And I'm just going to emboss these the same way I did that you saw me do my first little tag. I'm just inking them up with my VersaFine Black Onyx ink. I'm going to stamp them down really well and then quickly sprinkle on my clear embossing powder. And I'm pushing down really well on these stamped images because I want a nice crisp black image, and it's one of the nice things about this stamp press is that you can really kind of hold it there and stamp it down really well. So now I'm taking my clear embossing powder and just sprinkling it on quickly before that ink dries. I'm going to shake off all the excess and then go ahead and hit it with my heat tool to emboss those images. So I'm going ahead with my chalk shimmer, and I'm just going to color these last two images. This one here is jack-o'-lantern. I'm just shaking it up side to side like I did with my first color, and I'm just going to go ahead and spray it on. Now I used a piece of scrap paper behind it this time so I could kind of avoid having to clean up all that mess on my craft mat. And who knows, maybe I can use this scrap paper for some other project in the future. So I'm just making sure all my little spots are covered with that color on the background. I'm wiping off any of the ink that got pooled on the top of my little embossed image, and I'm going to hit it with my heat tool. Now this is my last little witch face that I'm going to spray, and I'm using the locomotive color. Now this is a really dark color. It's kind of a bluish gray, and I really like it because I feel like the shimmer really stands out on this color. It just looks amazing. And being so dark, the black witch face kind of blends into the background, but after you get your little white gel pen details on there, you can still see it. So I just went ahead and used it because I just really like the colors, and I like having all the 4 colors on my tags. So here are my 4 finished tags. They were really fun, simple, easy to do, and I'm just going to show you how I'm going to use them. Now you can put these on cards or on scrapbook pages or whatever, but I'm going to use them sort of as tags on a treat bag. Now you could use this for Halloween candy, if you're making a Halloween party, giving a little gift, or popcorn or whatever. This would be really fun to do. This little paper bag is from Canvas Corp, and so are the mini clothespins, and I'm just trying to pick one out that I think might coordinate. And I'm just taking a clothespin and I'm clipping on this little tag here. And it's just a really cute, fun, simple way to kind of dress up your candy bags. Now I really wanted to use these little sayings because I just thought they were so cute, and I'm just a sucker for a pun, for a good pun. So I wanted to use some of these sayings on my little tags. So I'm taking some of these sentiments, just going to stamp them out on a strip of that watercolor paper. This is the same paper that I used to spray on for my witch faces. I'm using some more of that ink from Brutus Monroe, and I'm just stamping it right on that watercolor paper. I thought about embossing it, but I decided just to go with the colored ink. And then I'm going to just cut it down with my paper trimmer into a little strip, and then I'll just cut the ends into sort of a flag shape. So I'm going to just take my scissors right here and trim it down. And it's really easy to make a flag shape on your sentiments or your anything you're doing. You just cut a little cut in the center and then connect it on the sides, kind of cutting a triangle out of your paper, and then you have a nice little flag shape on the end of your sentiment. So I'm trying to decide where I want my little sentiment to go. I kind of looked at some different options here, but in the end I just decided to adhere it down right underneath that witch's face, and I'm just going to do that using my ATG. So this was a really fun, simple little project to do. Really fun to get into those chalk shimmer sprays. I think they look fabulous. I love that bright color and the shimmer it adds. And these little witch faces were so fun to play with, and I love all the sentiments. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this, and I will catch you next time in a future video. Bye.